People are searching, are homes really selling in Kitchener-Waterloo market? What we see over here, there is a flood of listings. We see for sale sign everywhere. Buyers and sellers are both curious right now if the market is moving up, down, or is staying where it is. So in this episode of Real Estate Mythbuster, we are going to bust it all.
Hello everyone, my name is Parth Soni. I am with Navjot. Today we are checking out what is happening in the spring market, that is March and April. What is actually happening on the ground level rather than just what you see on the hype or in the news.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about the local market data we have available right now. We have a surge of listings and lag in sales. In March, there were 1,370 new listings, but only 493 sales. That's 45.5% selling from, and we are talking about right here is the listings which are newer to the market.
Yeah.
There are previous active listings adding up to that as well, dropping the months of inventory down. So 45% is only the number which is actually selling from the newer listings which is coming up. And it is down really badly, 65% down from the 10-year average.
So this is usually happens, like what happens in the spring market, we see flood of listings, especially in Kitchener-Waterloo. Every day we are seeing roughly anywhere between 60 to 75 homes listed on the market, listed on the MLS, but not that many homes are getting sold. So that is a new thing in this market. Again, listings, very common, spring market, you see number of listings coming up, but the sales are down. So home sales are down.
But even in this market, data shows that we are still not getting as many listings as we should. We are still getting 4% fewer listings than we should be getting in the spring market of April.
Yeah, I think people are still thinking, like especially sellers out there, what's happening with the economy, and there are uncertainty as well with the war. So they might be still thinking they might have signed listing, not ready to hit the market yet. All the back end work is done. So once they have a little bit of certainty what is happening, we might see more listings coming up in the market.
And right now, the price is another factor. A lot of sellers are thinking that if I wait a little, maybe I'll get more than what I'm getting today. So that's another thing pushing sellers out of the market. And sellers who can hold, obviously, they can wait. So if we talk about the first 7 days of the April, then what we saw, there were 410 new listings. 299 of them are struggling, 115 conditional, and only 249 successful deals. This is like a mixed momentum, right? Because in the first 7 days, if you're getting 249 closings and we are in April, historically, we should see anywhere from the 750 to 900 sales in a month. The first 7 days show that trend is going towards that number. Yeah. I don't want to say something, it's too early to say, right?
100%. Yeah, we don't have the data for the full month as of right now.
Yes. So there is one thing which is going on in the market. We have discussed in the previous podcast. The new sale activity has gone up because of the HST rebate, and we don't want to explain that again, right? But when the new build activity goes up, usually the resale market gets affected somehow.
Yes.
It can be a positive impact, negative, or there should be some impact.
Yeah.
Let's take Dune South as an example. There's a lot of construction going on for townhomes, detached homes in around the Dune South, and the homes which were built in last 5 years, and when they come to the market, the buyers always compare them to the brand new home which is being delivered from the builder.
Yeah. So usually what happens is the buyer psychology. Let's take two homes for an example. One is brand new, a pre-construction unit, and one is roughly about 5-year-old. Again, not that old, newer property. But when both hits the market, because of this HST and all the rebates coming up into the market, it might eventually happen that the both homes end up selling at the same price. So buyer over here might be thinking, if I'm getting a brand new home with a terrain warranty and all that features what they are looking for, plus a newer build in the near future, is it worthwhile for them or for me as a buyer to get into something that is 5 or 7 year old. So there will be a psychological shift in the mindset of the buyers out there, and that is something as a seller you need to understand it very properly. So
And it's a bit, when we are presenting the buyers, we do take it as a negotiation too, right? If we are on the buying side, we will use it as a negotiation tool. But when we are on the seller side, we switch gears and we have like our own. So what we do when we are on seller side is we tell them like compare the new build to this, how much closing cost you will have on new build versus resale. First thing. Second, after closing, what are the things that you have to get done in the newer home versus the resale home?
yeah.
Yes, you might be getting like a brand new car right out of showroom with 0 kilometers. But if you are getting a used car, compare what you're getting more. And if we come back to the real estate, the resale homes, you don't have to get the window coverings. Most likely the fencing would be done.
Yeah.
Most likely the driveway is already updated with the concrete or double layers of asphalt. The inside, there could be a tons of upgrades. If you try to get that in new build, you will pay extra for that,
Yeah.
right? So I think there are a lot of leverages sellers have too, but obviously buyers will definitely negotiate on everything. You gotta have the best negotiator on your side while you're buying or selling. But there is definitely opportunity in the resale market more than the pre-construction market for buyers.
Yeah, and the other thing is like many buyers are not able to visualize in pre-construction segment what will happen or how their house will look, because you only have 1 or 2 model homes. But exactly, if you're looking for a townhouse, the model home could be for a detached property and you are not able to visualize it. So for those kind of buyers, it makes much more sense to get into a pre-sale segment, whether you can touch, feel and see what's happening in that house, and exactly you get it delivered what you see out there.
So, to put things in perspective, like usually when you book a pre construction home, you're buying a contract and it's not an actual home which is built yet. You see the drawings. You may feel like, it's 11 by 17 living room and 8 by 6 dining. Is that gonna be enough for me? Mostly, like the builders give you some kind of 3D renderings to show you what it will actually look like. But a lot of time people feel deceived when they actually get the delivered product
100%.
because they cannot fit the couch they were willing to buy, they cannot fit the dining table they were willing to buy. So there are disappointments after buying a new build because you didn't look at it. Even the one of the things which is in the builder floor plans, if you are seeing say a dimension of a room, we don't know if the dimensions are the inside ones or the outside one, because the wall can reduce anywhere from the 6 inches to 1 feet. So that could take up the space, right?
Yeah. And there is one more thing not many people or buyer understand out there. Whenever you're buying a pre-construction home, there is always a caveat in your pre-construction paperwork. It says whatever the rendering are presented at the site, it might not the actual render, and builder do have ability based on the grading and so whatnot. Your layout of the house could change depending on when they start building up.
One of the biggest example in layout change is a lot of time people don't get the door from inside of the house to the garage.
Yes.
And builder says city didn't allow it, we cannot do it, because a lot of time cities, if you are above a certain grade, then and you want to have a door in your garage, then you need to add steps. And if you add steps, you cannot park a car there. Say you have a single car garage and you have enough room to park a car, but like if you make steps as per city's requirement, then there is no more room to park. So to avoid all that, builders usually just put their hands up and say we cannot do it because city is not allowing us, and they save money on the door.
Yeah.
And which is maybe $800-900 for builder, it would be way less.
Yeah.
But they end up saving, and they end up giving you a full car garage instead of a partial garage.
Yeah. And also the convenience factor, because you might have a mindset like this is what you are getting at the end, but actually the product is not built, you don't know what you are getting. So that is something with pre-construction, it will always be there.
So there are other economics uncertainties as well, which is going on. Especially one thing, like one of the biggest buyers in the market which were most qualified and which were having the most approvals, were IT industry. So IT industry has been really hit hard in last almost, especially in last 3 years, because of the artificial intelligence, although it has nothing to do with real estate, but it indirectly affects it. So we really want to talk about it, because if people who are making money, they are losing their jobs, or their overall average salaries are going down. Eventually, at the time of qualification, they may not qualify and they have to sell.
Yeah.
And if you want to get the prices which you were looking to get, if you sold in 2022, 2023, you won't get it, because the overall income has gone down. So this is another tragedy we are facing. I don't think not just Canada, but almost all over the world. The global economy is going down, and a lot of factors are contributing it, including the last war.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So always think what your demographics looks like when you are planning to buy or sell in that particular neighborhood. For us, it's like IT. 90% of my clientele is from IT segment, and if that get hits hard, it will definitely affect my business. So this kind of things, make sure you understand it. So the macroeconomics, so you are able to fit your criteria and adjust the requirement or your expectation based on that.
So next 3 months, we are gonna see one surge in renewal. So most of the people already got the renewal notice, and a lot of people do not want to renew because the payment they are renewing at, they cannot afford. Although they did qualify for 5.25 interest rate when they did qualify for mortgage, but it's a possibility that out of husband and wife, one of them lost job and they cannot afford those payments anymore. So situation might have changed. What you will get these days from mortgage brokers, that you can either go private, or some good mortgage brokers can give you a good renewal plan, or they can give you a strategy. And on the other side, a realtor might ask you to sell even though you might be able to renew. So at this point, it is very important that your realtor and mortgage broker sits together with you and go over your renewal. Do you have to sell, or it's okay, you can survive another 3 years? You can get another 3 year fix, and maybe you can survive 3 years and you will get better price than what we are getting today. We never know what's going to happen tomorrow, and we're talking about 3 years, but at least you can hope for better future.
Yeah,
Right?
and there are also options as well. Again, it's not recommended for every individual out there or families out there. You can also increase your amortization if the bank, how it underwrites, if it permits that, so that you have a little bit of cushion. Your monthly payment will go a little bit down, or might be the same what you are paying in the last term, whatever it is, because of the longer amortization. And when situations get better, you can definitely at that point of time switch up with whatever the terms have that point of time.
So I think it's better to plan everything instead of just planning with your husband and wife and then making a decision. It's better to bring in a realtor and mortgage broker and maybe your financial advisor as well in the conversation, and take everyone's opinion, then decide, and you might be able to land on a better decision than if you're deciding just by yourself.
100%. Yeah,
Right?
totally agree. So thank you so much for listening us today and watching on YouTube. I hope you found some value out of there. And again, we will see you on the next one.
So make sure you do hit subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Spotify, and do follow us, so whenever we post the new episode, you do end up getting the notification. One more thing, if you really want to do, you can do, is follow Parth and myself on our Instagram handles, where you will find a tons of small little clips being posted for your convenience to make sure you stay educated and aware of the real estate market. Thank you so much. Signing off from our episode 3. See you in episode 4. Okay.